or do whatever. But to me, there's always got to be some sort of context to it. Like, what did that lead to? So for me, it's always got to be some sort of movement or position or posture. So today I'm just going to go over probably about 4 different mobility hacks that I use for essentially the squat pattern. Now the squat pattern can be just go beyond squatting. It's also how well you get into an acceleration start position or your athletic stance, but from an extended position. Anyway, I'm going to test my squat here first. So what I'm going to do is get my normal squat stance. I'm going to squat down. And I'm just going to bottom out so where I feel tight, and you can kind of mark my position. Okay, so from that position, from those standpoints, from the front and back, you kind of saw where my position is. What it felt like to me, and a lot of these things from the technique standpoint have to be done by feel. Felt kind of tight in my ankles, tight in my knees, my low back felt tight, like I was trying to really, it felt like I was stretching to get into that position a little bit. So here's a couple mobility hacks. What I'm going to do first is just a 4-point rock. Okay. And for this one, this is just going off of original strength, but I like using these in different forms here. So I'll just do a basic one here. I'm going to get in your basic 4-point stance. You can, feet and knees are going to be as wide as your normal stance would be. I'm going to go eyes on the horizon. Oh, you probably heard that knee pop there. You get some interesting pops. And what this is, it's just a essentially a ground-based squat pattern, and I'm looking straight ahead to get my vestibular system and the posture for my thoracic spine calibrated in my body. Okay, so from there, I'll get back up and I'll retest the squat pattern to see if that helped in any way or if I need more. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. Squat. Whoa. I feel like I can get a little bit lower. So from a hip standpoint, I'm pretty good. Still kind of feel a little bit off in my knees. Here, let's do that again. And you can mark the position, compare the videos. Still feel like I'm rounding a little bit of the low back and a little bit tight in the knees. So here's what I'm going to do to further extend that pattern is I'm going to do the frog rock. So I'm going to get in frog stance, same position as best I can. I'm going blades of the feet. And for me, I'm kind of limited with my mobility. It might be a little one like that. Okay, I can get up to retest, but knowing full well a little bit on the low back. I'm going to get in that position again. I'm going to do what's called a curtsy or crossover rock. So I'm going to post on my right knee, and I'm crossing that over. What I'm trying to do is to not let this happen. I'm trying to keep my hips square to the floor. If you do this right, just doing this, heck of a stretch here in this glute piriformis area that everybody seems to be latching onto. Okay, again, toes are under because I'm trying to drive that ankle mobility. Oh, I also feel this kind of open up my low back. I can also stagger my arm here and then really get a stretch from that lat. Why do we want to stretch the lat? It actually does tie into the low back. Again, I'll start off here, going to the point where I feel that stretch. If I need a little bit further, I'll stretch the lat. And again, it's like little micro movements. You don't have to kill yourself to do it. Oh. I'll get up and I'll retest. And that feels much more comfortable. My back feels like it's more upright. It's on. I'm not stretching as much. I'm probably getting lower. My hips feel even. Ankles feel pretty good. Now, if your ankles kind of don't feel pretty good, and what I mean by that is you feel like your heels are coming off the ground, you just feel tight. Here's another quick one you can do. But you're going to grab a wall and you'll kind of test ankle mobility. Now, this is kind of an infamous test. You'll go about 4 inches away. And I feel pretty good, like I'm getting pretty close to the wall there. I'll go with both. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of connect the X's, so to speak. So I'm going to do that again with my right foot, and with my left hand, I'm going to flex down as I come in. Get even further. So it's kind of a reflexive point. We talk about connecting the X, the concept in original strength. It's the opposite joint that you're trying to manipulate is connected, essentially. So essentially, I'm trying to get right ankle, so I'm stimulating that flexion with the wrist flexion on the opposite arm. I'll do the same thing on the other arm. I can hold it, or I can just coordinate the pattern. Then I'll retest the squat again. And even better, you can tell because I can get deeper in there, my knees can go forward a little bit more, and I feel completely grounded through the heel. I don't really feel tight back here at all, and I'm probably sitting way lower than my first squat.
And then would you say you could do this even as a warm-up to like squatting?
Oh yeah, yep. Warm up to squatting or anything. Again, all my warm-ups, we'll batch stuff like that, and especially with the medley style warm-ups that we do. You see Evie doing them. But yeah, definitely before a squat or any type of thing where you got to get in an athletic position, if you feel a little tight, just remember the squat is an extension of that athletic position in extreme ranges of motion. So if you have that movement bandwidth in that, essentially that extended ranges of motion, and every motion on up, it'll be just that much better. But anyways, that's quick mobility hacks, I guess, with what it looks like. Rant hard always.